At my brother's wedding, I was handed a paper badge that read, "Limited access guest." My mom whispered, "That means no plate." I looked over, walked to the gift table, retrieved my envelope with the $7,500 fund check, and said, "I think you won't need this anymore." Then I left. My brother ran after me and my parents shouted, "Come back." But I didn't stop. I got in my car, hands shaking, and drove off while they stood in the parking lot yelling. The text started before I even made it home. My mom, "Let's not ruin the weekend over a misunderstanding." Misunderstanding? I'd saved for 8 months, worked double shifts at the hospital every weekend, skipped my own birthday trip, ate ramen for dinner more nights than I could count. All because Noah called me crying about how they couldn't afford the honeymoon and the wedding was already maxing them out. I told him not to worry, that I had him covered. He actually cried and said, "You're the best sister ever." Guess that changed somewhere between the deposit and the seating chart. My dad called the next morning. His voice had that fake calm tone he uses when he's trying to manage me. "We need to talk about this rationally. You're being emotional." I said, "You need to talk about why you downgraded your own daughter to limited access while expecting to cash my check." Long pause. Then, "The venue had capacity issues. We had to make difficult decisions." I actually laughed. "Really? Then why was cousin Cody there? The one who stole from grandma and hasn't been invited to anything in 3 years?" Another pause. "That's different." "How?" He hung up. That night, I got a message from Noah's fiancée, Claire. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know they were doing that. I saw your name on the original seating chart at the family table." Then it just disappeared. I asked when. She said about 4 days before the wedding, right after I'd confirmed the check amount with Noah. The next morning, my mom tried a different approach. She showed up at my door with coffee and croissants, the good ones from the bakery I like. "Honey, can we please talk?" I let her in, figured I'd hear her out. She sat on my couch and did this whole speech about how weddings are stressful, how there were a lot of moving parts, how maybe the execution wasn't perfect, but the love was there. I waited until she finished. Then I said, "Who made the decision?" "What decision?" "To move me from the family table to limited access." She looked at her coffee. "It was a group discussion." "Was Noah part of that group?" Silence. "Mom, was Noah part of that group?" She nodded. Barely, but she nodded. That's when something in me just settled, like a door closing. "Thanks for clarifying," I said. I stood up. "You should go." She started to argue, but I opened the door and waited. She left. 2 days later, Noah showed up at my apartment. No warning, just knocked until I answered. He looked tired, guilty. "Mel, please, we can't afford the honeymoon without that money. Claire's been crying. This was supposed to be our dream trip." I leaned against the doorframe. "When did you find out about the badge?" "What?" "The limited access badge. When did you find out?" He looked at the ground. "A week before, and you didn't say anything. I thought you'd understand. You know how mom gets." I didn't want to make waves before the wedding. I nodded slowly. "So, you made a choice. You chose the path of least resistance, which meant sacrificing me." "That's not—" "You knew I was bringing $7,500. You knew I'd been working extra shifts for months. You called me the best sister ever, and then you approved cutting me out of your own wedding because it was easier than standing up to mom." His face went red. "You're being dramatic." "I'm being clear," I said. "You made a choice. Now live with it." I closed the door. For the next week, the messages kept coming. My dad offered to mediate. My mom sent a long email about family bonds and forgiveness. Noah sent voice memos explaining how I was punishing Claire, who didn't do anything wrong. I didn't respond to any of them. Then last week, I saw their joint post on social media, a long caption about how they'd decided to cancel the honeymoon and focus on building their home first instead of chasing expensive trips. Translation, they couldn't afford it. My mom tried one last time, a text that just said, "Family forgives." I stared at it for a full minute, then I typed back, "Family includes," and I blocked all 3 of them. Yesterday, I booked a 2-week trip to Italy. First-class flights, a hotel in Rome with a view of the Colosseum, cooking classes in Tuscany, wine tasting in Florence, just me. Full access. My $7,500 is going exactly where it should have gone from the start, towards someone who actually values my presence, not just my bank account. And honestly, I've never felt lighter.